After standing for 4,500 years, the Great Sphinx has finally revealed what may be its most astonishing secret. In 2025, advanced muon scanning technology was used to conduct the most detailed survey ever performed on the monument. What researchers discovered beneath its ancient paws left experts in Egypt stunned. The Egyptian government immediately moved to seal off the site. Scans revealed 3 hidden chambers, but one chamber in particular showed something that simply should not exist. The finding is so monumental that officials have hesitated to make it public. This raises the question, what could be buried in the sands of Giza that would make modern Egypt tremble at the weight of an ancient mystery that has waited in silence for millennia? To understand the discovery, we must first revisit the origins of the Sphinx. Around 4,500 years ago, during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, a colossal statue was carved directly out of solid limestone. This became the Great Sphinx of Giza. The monument stretches 73 meters in length and stands 20 meters tall. Yet its original appearance was very different from the weathered figure we see today. In its prime, it was not pale or bleached by centuries of desert sun. Instead, its face was painted a vivid red, while its headdress gleamed with blue and yellow pigments. In the desert light, the Sphinx would have looked like a divine figure, part man, part lion, guarding the sunrise. Its positioning was no accident. The Sphinx faces directly east, a deliberate alignment by the ancient Egyptians, who revered the sun and believed the pharaoh embodied divine authority. A creature combining the power of a lion's body with the wisdom of a human head, gazing at the rising sun, was the ultimate expression of strength, protection, and kingship. Most historians believe the face was modeled after Khafre himself, making the Sphinx both his image and his eternal guardian of the pyramid complex. The lion symbolized raw strength, while the human features reflected wisdom, creating a perfect emblem of royal power. But over time, the Sphinx suffered repeated damage. Its most famous injury is the missing nose, often attributed to Napoleon's troops in the 1700s. However, that theory is false. Sketches drawn long before Napoleon's time already showed the statue without its nose. The true story is far more startling. In 1378, a man named Muhammad Sa'im al-Dar witnessed peasants offering sacrifices to the Sphinx as if it were a living deity. Enraged at what he considered idol worship, he chiseled off the Sphinx's nose. This act of destruction was documented by historian al-Makrizi, and the shock of it still lingers centuries later. Other parts of the Sphinx also disappeared. Its ceremonial beard crumbled long ago, and the cobra emblem that once decorated its forehead has vanished as well. Worse still, the Sphinx was swallowed by the desert itself. Sand buried it again and again throughout history. By 1400 BC, during the reign of Thutmose IV, only its head remained visible above the dunes. According to legend, Thutmose fell asleep near the statue while still a prince and had a strange dream. The Sphinx spoke to him, promising that if he cleared away the sand, he would one day be king. Inspired, Thutmose began to dig. After he ascended the throne, he placed a massive stone tablet between the paws of the Sphinx to commemorate the vision. That tablet, known as the Dream Stele, still stands today. It shows that even 3,400 years ago, the Sphinx was already an ancient riddle shrouded in mystery. But the sands of time continued their relentless cycle, burying the Sphinx over and over again. The Dream Stele itself added to the intrigue. It depicts the Sphinx resting on what appears to be a pedestal or small temple, possibly with a doorway. Some believe this was artistic symbolism, but others insisted hints at structures hidden beneath the statue. This image fueled centuries of speculation among treasure hunters, explorers, and conspiracy theorists. Adding to the mystery is the odd shape of the monument. The Sphinx's head appears disproportionately small compared to its massive body. Some scholars, including John Anthony West and Robert Schoch, argue this suggests the Sphinx predates Khafre and may have originally had a lion's head before being recarved into a pharaoh's likeness. Others, such as Egyptologist Mark Lehner, argue that the unusual proportions were simply due to adjustments in the stone during construction. Still, the debate endures, and the unusual design continues to feed speculation that the Sphinx may have been built thousands of years before the pyramids, perhaps by a forgotten civilization. In 1817, Giovanni Battista Caviglia led the first modern excavation of the Sphinx. With the help of 160 workers, he began removing centuries of sand that had nearly buried the statue. Until then, only the head and part of the neck were visible. As more of the body was uncovered, Caviglia made an astonishing discovery. Between the paws, he found an altar and the dream stele of Thutmose IV. He also uncovered 2 granite tablets from the reign of Ramesses II, one of which now resides in the Louvre Museum. Even stranger, he found a horned altar scorched black from fire, similar to altars described in the Bible, with 4 small horns at its corners. Scholars dated it to the 1st millennium BC, suggesting the Sphinx remained an object of worship long after Khafure's time. Despite these finds, Caviglia uncovered no chambers or tunnels, only natural cracks in the rock. As sand quickly poured back into the pit, locals began whispering of curses and spirits angered by the excavation. Overwhelmed, Caviglia eventually abandoned the project. In the 1850s, Auguste Mariette, founder of the Cairo Museum, resumed work at the Sphinx. He uncovered a Roman-era staircase leading to the statue, buried for centuries, as well as the remains of a temple from the Old Kingdom thought to be part of Khafure's pyramid complex. Mariette also examined a vertical shaft in the Sphinx's back. Though it was little more than a natural crack, inside he found charred wood soaked with resin, possibly remnants of a coffin. Some speculated that the shaft had been reused as a makeshift tomb, though it was clearly not part of the original construction. Still, this discovery kept hopes alive that hidden chambers might exist within the Sphinx. By 1887, French engineer Gaston Maspero managed to fully clear the Sphinx's base for the first time in nearly 2 millennia. Its entire body was revealed, but no hidden doors or tunnels appeared, only cracks and a circular hole atop the head, which likely once held a crown. In 1925, Émile Barrais took charge of preserving the monument. He spent more than a decade clearing sand and reinforcing the Sphinx's structure.